The Abomination of Umaya, the tale of Princess Ijoma. In the remote and mysterious village of Umaya, hidden deep within the African forests, life was governed by ancient customs and the ever watchful eyes of the gods. The village thrived under the rule of King Chidi, a man of unmatched wisdom and strength, who was revered not only for his leadership but also for his profound connection to the spirit world. His wife, Queen Nkechi, was a vision of beauty and grace. Her presence, as commanding as it was nurturing. Together, they had a daughter, Princess Ijoma, whose beauty was the talk of the entire kingdom. Princess Ijoma was the jewel of Umaya, with her smooth chocolate complexion, a figure that embodied both strength and femininity, and lips that held the softest of smiles. She was a vision of elegance. Her eyes, dark and intense, sparkled with the promise of a future full of hope and possibilities. At 25, she had blossomed into a captivating woman, draped in the royal traditional Nigerian Igbo attire, a vibrant Oka Ocha wrapper, a blouse of intricate embroidery, and an array of coral beads that announced her royal lineage. Her thick, curly hair was expertly woven into a stunning style that cascaded down her back, each strand glittering in the sunlight. But the beauty and grace of the royal family hid a dark secret, one that was about to erupt with catastrophic consequences. It was the night of the New Year festival, a sacred time in Umaya when the village gave thanks to the gods for the harvest. The festival was a grand affair, with the entire village coming alive with music, dance, and feasting. The air was thick with the scent of roasted yams and the rhythmic beats of drums as the people of Umaya celebrated late into the night. King Chidi, as the spiritual leader, had spent the past 3 nights in a grueling ritual to honor the gods. The ritual required him to stay awake, fasting and consuming potent herbs provided by the village priests, which induced visions and allowed him to commune with the spirits. But the ritual was waning, and by the time the third night arrived, the king was a shell of his usual self. His mind clouded, his body weakened. As the festival which he spake, King Chidi, barely able to stand, excused himself from the celebrations and stumbled towards his quarters. The powerful herbs had taken a toll, and his vision blurred as he moved through the palace corridors, each step heavier than the last. Unknowingly, he wandered into the chamber of Princess Ijoma. The room was dim, lit only by the soft glow of a solitary oil lamp. The scent of jasmine filled the air, and in the large bed, Princess Ijoma lay asleep, her chest rising and falling with each peaceful breath. The king, in his disoriented state, mistook her for Queen Nkechi. The herbs clouded his mind, twisting his perception until the unimaginable happened. In the fog of confusion, King Chidi, driven by an overpowering need to rest, lay beside his daughter. The room, silent and serene, became the setting for an abomination that will bring ruin to them all. As the first light of dawn filtered through the curtains, Princess Idoma stirred from her sleep. The night event was a blur fragment of a nightmare she couldn't fully grasp. But as she turned and saw her father beside her, the reality struck her like a hammer. Her eyes widened in shock, her breath caught in her throat, and a scream filled with horror and disbelief escaped her lips. King Chidi awoke to the sound of his daughter's scream, his heart pounding as memories of the night before flooded back. The king's face paled as the full weight of his actions descended upon him. The room, once a place of peace, now felt like a prison, a place where the unthinkable had occurred. Princess Ijoma, her body trembling, fled from the room, her mind racing with confusion and fear. She ran through the palace corridor, her bare feet slapping against the cold stone floors, until she found herself at her mother's door. She burst into the room, her voice choked whisper as she called out, "Mother, mother, something terrible has happened." Queen Nkechi, who had been resting, rose to her feet, her heart filled with dread as she took in the sight of her daughter. Disheveled, terrified, and clutching at her chest, as if she could not breathe. The queen's voice was calm, but beneath it lay a tremor of fear. "What is it, my child? Tell me." And so, with tears streaming down her face, Princess Ijoma recounted the events of the night. As she spoke, Queen Nkechi's face hardened, her heart pounding as she struggled to keep her composure. This was more than a personal tragedy. It was an abomination that would bring the wrath of the gods upon them all. Queen Nkechi, ever wise and composed, knew that this was not a secret they could keep. The gods will know soon, and the land will begin to show the sign of the anger. She took her daughter's hand, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "We must tell the priests. The gods must be appeased." But as the queen and princess prepared to confront the truth, King Chidi was paralyzed by fear and shame. He knew that the revelation of his actions would not only destroy him, but would bring ruin to his people. Desperately, he sought the counsel of the village priests, hoping against hope that there was another way. When the priests arrived, they performed a series of rituals and divinations, their faces growing more grave with each passing moment. Finally, the head priest emerged from the inner sanctum, his voice filled with sorrow. "The gods are furious. The land is cursed. The abomination committed within the walls of this palace has brought darkness upon Umueze." Words of the abomination spread like wildfire. The whispers turned into cry and anguish as the villagers learned of the curse. The once fertile field began to wither, the rivers ran dry, and a terrible sickness spread through the land. The gods, as indeed, turned their back on Umueze, and the people were left to suffer the consequences. Queen Nkechi, heartbroken but resolute, knew what had to be done. She went to the priest, her voice steady as she made her request. "Take my life. Let my death be the atonement for this sin. Spare my daughter and the people of Umueze." The priests, however, shook their heads. "The gods do not seek your life, great queen. They demand the life of the one touched by the abomination. Only the blood of Princess Ijoma can lift the curse." The queen's heart shattered. She had tried to protect her daughter, but now she faced the unthinkable, sacrificing the one thing she loved more than life itself. Princess Ijoma, hearing the verdict, did not flatter. She stepped forward, her eyes filled with a quiet strength. "I will go. If my death will save our people, then I am ready." King Chidi, broken by guilt and despair, could do nothing but watch as his daughter prepared for the ultimate sacrifice. The once mighty king, now a shadow of his former self, could not find the words to express his sorrow. On the day of the sacrifice, the sky was an ominous shade of grey, the air heavy with the weight of impending doom. The entire village gathered at the sacred grove, their face etched with grief. The priests, dressed in their ceremonial robes, led Princess Ijoma to the altar. She was dressed in pure white, her royal bead shining brightly against her dark skin, her hair falling in soft curls around her shoulder. As she was laid upon the stone altar, a hush fell over the crowd. The priests began their chant, the rhythm of their words growing faster and more intense. The wind picked up, howling through the trees, as if the gods themselves were present, watching the scene unfold. Just as the priests raised the sacrificial knife, a sudden and violent storm erupted. The sky darkened further, thunder rumbled, and a bolt of lightning struck the altar, sending the priests stumbling back in fear. A voice booming and filled with authority echoed through the grove. It was the voice of the gods. "Stop!" the voice commanded. The knife hovered in the mid-air, the priest frozen in place. Princess Ijeoma's willingness to sacrifice herself has appeased us. The curse is lifted, but the king and queen must pay for their sins. Their lives are forfeits. With those words, the storm ceased as quickly as it had begun. King Chidi and Queen Nkechi, standing side by side, fell to the ground, their eyes closing as their spirit departed to face the gods. People of Umuaya fell to their knees, weeping for their fallen rulers, even as they rejoiced that the curse had been lifted. With the curse lifted, the land of Umuaya began to heal. The fields turned green once more. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the sickness that had plagued the people vanished. Princess Ijeoma, spared from death, was crowned queen, a ruler chosen by the gods themselves. But the memory of that night and the terrible event that led to it will never be forgotten. Queen Ijeoma ruled with a wisdom and compassion that earned her the love and respect of her people. But she carried the weight of family sins with her always. And so the story of Umuaya became legendary, a tale of love, betrayal, sacrifice, and redemption, told for generations to come. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel as it helps us to create more amazing tales such as this and give you that exciting, relaxing, educative and insightful African tales. Thank you once more. Do also comment as it means so much to us on the team and let us know how this video made you feel. Please and please subscribe to this channel and see you in our next amazing African tales.